people think that if you're broken, it means you're weak, that you didn't handle life the right way, that somehow you failed. But honestly, being broken just means you've felt deeply. It means you've allowed life to touch you, shake you, stretch you beyond what you thought you could handle, and you're still here. That's not weakness. That's strength most people can't even see. When you feel things on that level, whether it's grief, heartbreak, fear, or loss, it changes you. And yeah, it breaks things open. Parts of you that you thought were solid fall apart. The beliefs you held, the plans you made, the version of yourself you were comfortable with, suddenly none of it fits anymore. And while it's terrifying, it's also the start of something real. Because people who've been broken, they know what matters. They know the value of presence, of kindness, of simply sitting with someone in silence. They don't look at life from a distance. They're in it, knee deep, heart wide open. And sure, that kind of living hurts, but it also awakens something powerful. It awakens truth. It shows you what's real. There's this idea out there that strength looks like holding it all together, like smiling through pain or pushing past your limits just to seem okay. But maybe strength is something softer. Maybe it's being honest enough to say, I'm not okay right now, but I'm still showing up. Maybe it's crying in the middle of the night and still choosing to wake up the next day. Maybe it's letting yourself break so you can stop pretending. When we let ourselves feel that deeply, we stop numbing. We stop faking. We start healing. Because you can't heal what you're too afraid to feel. You can't transform what you're trying to hide. So, if you've been broken by life, it doesn't mean you lost. It means you've lived, you've risked, you've loved, you've cared enough for it to hurt. And somewhere in that brokenness, you'll find your most honest self. The version of you that doesn't chase perfection or approval, just connection, just truth. And that version of you, they're not weak, they're real, they're awake, and they're incredibly brave. We get told this story from the time we're kids, that if we're going to do something, we better do it perfectly. No room for mess ups, no space for learning curves, no grace for trying and not getting it right the first time. So we grow up terrified to try unless we know we'll succeed. We wait until we're confident, until the timing is right, until we've got it all figured out. But the truth is, trying has never been about being perfect. It's just about showing up anyway. Showing up when you're scared. Showing up when you're unsure. Showing up when your voice shakes and your heart is pounding and you feel like a total mess. That's where real courage lives, not in the flawless performance, but in the willingness to be seen as you are. Trying is messy. It's human. It's vulnerable. And that's what makes it powerful. So many people don't even start because they think they're not enough. They think they need more time, more healing, more strength, more clarity. But if you wait until you feel ready, you might be waiting forever. Readiness doesn't come before action. It comes through action. Through the stumbling, the learning, the falling on your face and getting back up again. Trying is the quiet act of rebellion against fear. It's saying, yeah, I might fail, I might look stupid, I might get hurt, but I'm still going to show up for my life. It's choosing to live with heart, even when the outcome is uncertain. It's proof that you're still fighting, still believing that something is possible, even if you don't know how it'll turn out. And trying won't always look pretty. Sometimes it looks like tears and shaky steps. Sometimes it looks like progress no one else can see. But it matters. Every time you show up when it would be easier to disappear, you're choosing growth. You're choosing yourself. We have to stop waiting to be perfect before we begin. Perfection isn't the goal. Honesty is. Presence is. Trying is. Because the most beautiful things in life, they don't come from getting it right. They come from having the guts to begin, no matter how uncertain or messy it is. That's where the magic really lies. There's this pressure in the world that says you've got to be okay before you do anything. Like if you're struggling, you should stay quiet, stay hidden. Wait until you've figured it all out before you show up again. But the truth is, you don't have to be okay to keep going. You don't have to have all the answers, or even half of them. Sometimes, just getting out of bed, breathing through the next hour, or being honest about how you're feeling, that is moving forward. We live in a world that glamorizes strength and productivity and having it together. But real strength isn't about always being upbeat or confident. It's about moving forward with a broken heart, with tired eyes, with hands that shake. It's about saying, I'm not okay, but I'm still here. I'm still trying. And that is enough. There are days when everything feels heavy, when the weight of what you're carrying is so loud that it drowns out hope. And on those days, the idea of being okay feels like a distant dream. That's all right, because being okay isn't a requirement for being alive. It's not a checkbox you have to tick off before you get to live. Create, connect, or keep going. Sometimes going forward means taking the tiniest step, maybe even crawling. And that's still movement. That's still progress. You don't heal by forcing yourself to be fine. You heal by allowing yourself to not be okay and still treating yourself with compassion. The idea that we have to be fixed before we're worthy of living fully, it's a lie. You are worthy in the mess, in the in-between, in the falling apart and getting back up over and over again. And every time you choose to keep going, even in your pain, even in your pain, even in your doubt, you're showing yourself that you're stronger than you think. So if you're not okay right now, that's all right. You're not broken for feeling lost. You're not behind for not having it all figured out. You are human, and continuing on even in your not okayness is one of the bravest things you'll ever do. Keep going, not because you've got it together, but because you deserve to live. Even while you're healing, we spend so much time trying to hold it together. Smile through the pain, act like we're fine, pretend nothing's falling apart inside. But the truth is, you're allowed to break. You're allowed to fall apart. Not just allowed, but sometimes you need to. Because that space where everything feels like it's unraveling is often the exact place where real strength starts to grow. See, falling apart doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. It means life got heavy and you stopped trying to carry it all alone. And sometimes you don't even notice how much you've been holding in until you finally drop it. The tears, the silence, the anger, the numbness, it all comes pouring out. And in that flood of emotion, you finally meet yourself. Not the version of you that's performing or surviving, but the version that's real, raw, and completely honest. We think strength is about holding our emotions in a box and taping it shut. But that kind of strength is brittle. It cracks under pressure. Real strength, it's soft, it's flexible, it bends when it needs to, it breaks when it has to. It knows how to rebuild itself from the ground up. And it's in those moments when you're on the floor, crying, asking life, what the hell is going on, that something begins to shift. You stop fighting to stay the same. You start surrendering to the truth that change is happening. And maybe, just maybe, it's okay not to know where it's leading yet. Falling apart teaches you things nothing else can. It humbles you. It softens you. It cracks your heart wide open so light can get in. And once you've broken, you understand people better. You see their pain, their mess, their stories, and you stop judging. You start connecting. You don't need to be a hero every day. You don't have to be strong in the way the world defines it. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is say, I'm not okay, and let yourself break. Let the pieces fall. And when you're ready, you'll gather them back. Maybe differently, maybe slowly, but with more truth than ever before. Strength isn't found in pretending. It's built in the cracks, in the softness, in the falling, and in the rising one breath at a time. It's so easy to believe that where you are right now is where you'll always be. Like the pain you're feeling, the mistakes you've made, or the chapter you're stuck in is the whole story. But it's not. This isn't the end. Your story isn't over. You're still becoming. You're still in the process of unfolding into the person you're meant to be, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. Sometimes we treat life like a straight line. We think we're supposed to have everything figured out by a certain age, or heal by a certain time, or achieve a certain amount by a certain deadline. But life doesn't work like that. It moves in waves. It circles back. It pulls you down sometimes before lifting you up again. Becoming isn't a destination. It's a constant becoming. Wherever you are right now, even if it feels dark or confusing, is still part of something bigger. That heartbreak, that loss, that failure, it's not the end. It's a plot twist, not a period. You can be in the middle of your mess and still be worthy of growth. You can be in the process and still matter. We tend to judge ourselves too early, like we're only worth something once we've reached a goal or proved ourselves or become someone better. But you don't need to wait for some future version of you to be proud of who you are. Who you are right now, in your pain, in your learning, in your not knowing, is enough. The beautiful thing is that you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to rush. Becoming happens in small, quiet ways, through the choices you make every day, through the way you treat yourself, through the way you show up even when it's hard. That's progress, even if no one else sees it. So if you're in a place that feels stuck or broken, or like nothing is changing, hold on. You're still becoming. There are still pages to turn, chapters to write, versions of yourself you haven't even met yet, and they're not born out of perfection. They're born out of the struggle, the questions, the courage to keep going even when it's hard. You're not finished. You're evolving. And that's something beautiful. We grow up thinking that once something is broken, it loses its value. Like once it cracks, it's ruined. But people aren't glass. We're not meant to stay untouched, flawless, or perfect. We're meant to live, to feel, to fall and get back up again. And even when we're shattered, especially when we're shattered, we can still shine. There's something about being broken open that lets the light in. When you've been through something, when you've had to fight to exist, to breathe, to believe again, you carry a kind of beauty that can't be manufactured. It's raw, it's real, and it radiates not in spite of the pain, but because of it. You don't have to be whole to be worthy. You don't have to be fixed to be powerful. The world wants us to hide our cracks, to smooth over the rough edges, and only show the polished version of ourselves. But the truth is, our broken pieces are where the story lives. They're the parts that teach us compassion, humility, empathy. When you've been shattered, you stop pretending. You start seeing people as they really are, and you let yourself be seen too. There's a kind of courage that comes from sitting in the mess and choosing not to run from it. From saying, yes, this hurt me. Yes, I broke, but I am still here. And I am still beautiful. That courage, that softness wrapped in strength, is what makes you shine brighter than ever before. Not like a spotlight, but like a candle in the dark, quiet, steady. True, shattered doesn't mean finished. It doesn't mean failed. It means something sacred happened. Something that made you feel deeply, that changed you, that woke you up, and instead of hiding those pieces, you can honor them. You can learn from them. You can let them become part of your light. You don't need to go back to who you were before everything fell apart. That version of you was never the final draft. You're still becoming, and now you carry a wisdom, a softness, and a strength you didn't have before. Even in pieces, you can be luminous. Even when broken, you can reflect something beautiful. Because sometimes it's the cracks that catch the light best.